Yee! Let's go with that red black iridescent. Sheesh. Oh, you hear how nice that sounds with that cold start off? Man, that's what I'm talking about. Some of you people might hate that. Like, dude, gotta have the cold start on, it sounds sick. It's too loud, bro. Oh man, I wish I was filming that. This older gentleman pulled up next to me and was like pointing at the car, and he's like, "Did you trick out the back to look like that, or did you buy it like that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a full carbon fiber trunk." I wasn't quite sure like how much he knew about cars, but it's really cool, man. Like all ages, he was older. All ages are just down for it. I think that's awesome. He was admiring the wrap as well. It always feels good getting compliments on your project, right? Things that you put so much time and energy and passion into. It always feels good to get recognized for that, even when it's from like an older gentleman who may not be into, you know, younger styles of modifying when it comes to cars. But ironically enough, that is what today's video is about. It's about tastefully modifying your BMW. And I really wanted to make this video because I get a lot of questions from you guys. What do you think would look good? And obviously I can give you my opinion, but you know how these kind of videos go. I mean, these are all opinion based. But really what it should come down to is, you know, do your own research and decide what you like looks best. Because there are a lot of things about this car that when I was first modifying it that I did to it that I didn't really necessarily love after a little while, because I learned more and I did a little more research. Color on this thing, man. It's unbelievable. Still have not gotten used to this color. All right, you guys, so today's video is a little bit more opinion based about what I think is a tastefully modified F30. When I look at my car, I do think about the mods that I've done that I do think are tasteful, and then the mods that I've done that I don't think are that tasteful. So I wanted to go over some of those with you guys and kind of get your opinion on it, and maybe you guys can comment down below and let me know what you think. Like I said before, I'm making this video because I get a lot of people that ask me for my opinion when it comes to modifying cars or putting different style bumpers on their cars. I just think that a lot of that stuff is very opinion based. And just because I have a certain style, like maybe I don't like the black line LCI taillights, I like the OEM ones, it doesn't mean that that's necessarily the wrong or right way to go. You have to put your own spin on your own build, and that's really what individualizes your build and makes it unique and special. So I think the best way to do this is start the video off with like a walk around. Let's do a walk around of the car, kind of talk about what I have done to it aesthetically and on the exterior, and then we'll dive into some of the stuff on the engine and the interior. So for those of you who are new to this channel, my name is John, and I do F30 BMW and E90 BMW content. The E90 part is new, but this was the starting block, was my F30. This is a 328 N20 engine. Yes, it's just a simple little N20 328, and it looks pretty insane. I mean, like, we've gone through a lot of phases with this car and a lot of different modifications. When I bought it, it did not have the M Sport kit. It was just a baseline sport line, actually, 328i in Glacier Silver. So obviously you can tell it is not Glacier Silver anymore. The wrap on this car was done by Sensational here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Sensational Tint Wraps and Detail, and the color is actually called Red Black Iridescent by the film company KPMF. And I'll tell you what, man, it's by far the coolest wrap that I've ever done. I absolutely love it. It has a very sinister and dark vibe to it. The other color that we did before this was more of a olive tan, kind of greenish look, and we kind of flipped the script on them with this one. I wanted to go completely opposite direction, so I'm really, really happy with the way that this came out. I knew that I wanted to rock bronze wheels, so I kind of based the color of the wrap on the wheels because burgundy looks really, really good with bronze. Now that doesn't mean that you only have to rock bronze with this color. You could obviously do black or silver, which I think both would look really good, or even gunmetal, but I really wanted to do something a little bit different, and I felt like the bronze against this color would just be the best approach for that. So let's kind of start with the front end. Like I mentioned before, I do have the full M Sport kit on this car. I am rocking the Veris carbon fiber front lip from Keys Motorsports. This is the second one that I've gone through. I cracked the first one, and I just love the way that this lip looks. It's not like too aggressive, but it's just enough that it adds a little bit of flair to it and kind of just makes it a little bit more sporty, but not like over the top. It doesn't hang too low for me, in my opinion, and I also really like that this lip doesn't stick out too far. I do see a lot of carbon fiber lips that come out really far and they just look kind of weird from side profiles. This lip, I feel like it hit all the marks for me, and even on the E90 I'm doing a very similar style lip to this one because I just think it's the best design. I just think it's the best design for this body style and the way that the F30 looks. I used to have the carbon fiber double slatted kidney grills. However, I recently switched that up to go with all gloss black. I just didn't like the way that the carbon fiber was looking. It was kind of getting old and it just didn't look that great. So it was time to switch it up, and I wanted to kind of trim back on some of the carbon fiber, which kind of leads me into my next point. If you look at this carbon fiber on here, these carbon fiber eyelids, they're kind of wearing fast. This is the second set that I put on this car, and the first ones really didn't last me that long. And this car's garage kept, so it's not like it just sits out in the sun. But these ones are already starting to go. They're turning yellow, and so I'm gonna get rid of the carbon fiber on there. I also feel like it might be a bit too much carbon fiber on this car. So we're gonna go ahead and just do a black film, a black PPF film by S-Tech with the same cutout. So I still get that kind of like eyebrow look. I think that the eyebrows in general just look really good on these headlights. And the reason being is because this is just all silver up top. It's all reflective silver. And when you add this little accent of eyebrow to it, like a darker color, it just makes the headlights look a little bit more aggressive. We also did the S-Tech Dino Shade headlight tint, which I'm a huge advocate of that headlight tint because it just brings out the definition in the actual rings and it makes the headlights look so much better. That's just my opinion. I think that they look really good, and you still keep your visibility at night. There was another company that makes headlight tint, I believe it's Vivid, that I tried in a different video, and it was way too dark. You couldn't even see your headlights at night. S-Tech did a really good job of kind of crossbreeding the two, making sure that you still have visibility and it brings in a little bit of tint to the front. So the wheels I'm rocking, these are Niche. These are made by Niche, and they're the Gamma 191s in sports bronze. I absolutely love them. They're 19 by 8.5 in the front and 19 by 9.5 in the back, and they are wrapped with hand-cooked Ventus Pros V12s. The second set of tires that I've had with hand-cooked Venus, and they're great. They're not too expensive, but they last a long time and they feel good, they hook up well. No complaints there whatsoever. I've also done the OEM, modified OEM mud flaps. If you guys are interested in more about those, just go to YouTube and search Thick F30 mud flaps and it'll come up, or I'll just link it in this description so you guys can find it right away. But I really, really like the way that they look on this car. I actually didn't have them on in the beginning of this new wrap, and it just looked weird. It looked weird without them. I think they really fit the vibe of this car, and they're functional, so I'm not getting any rocks up on the side or anything. On the bottom here, I have the carbon fiber side skirt extensions. Now, I'll be dead honest with you guys, that is one of my favorite things that I've added. It's so minimal, like it's so minimal. You hardly even notice it, but I feel like those little details really add up and just kind of bring along the carbon fiber accents along the bottom. It just kind of ties everything together. So this is kind of the same theme that I'm gonna be doing on the E90. If we go up here, I have Keys Motorsports did the exposed carbon fiber, the forged carbon fiber M-style mirror caps, which I think look super sick. I really dig them. There's been a lot of mixed reviews on if people like these or not, but I think that when I first did them, it was a little bit ahead of the trend and not a lot of people were on board with it. But I'm telling you what, like at every show that I go to, someone always mentions the mirror caps and how much they love them. So I really think that it helps make this build stand out a little bit. I think it's going to become more and more popular, and then we're going to be seeing it more and more. People are already making parts for like spoilers and lips and all this stuff. So we're going to be seeing a lot more forged carbon, and it's going to become more common. But it has been a big talking point at car shows when I bring this car out. I also did the smoked sequential mirror blinkers, and I think that those look really cool. The stock ones are just like a clear film and they just blink, whereas these ones have a sequential light to them. I'll put a clip up in here so you guys can see what it looks like. On the roof, we've done the S-Tech PPF Gloss Black. So this doubles as PPF and a wrap, so it's protecting. It also has hydrophobic silica properties, so it wicks water away just like a ceramic coating would. And it's self-healing, so if you were to get like a scratch in it or it's stretched weird, it is going to self-heal in the sun. Sensational also did the roof as well as the entire wrap, and they absolutely crushed it. This guy's right here, just murdering the wrap game right now. Keys Motorsports hooked me up with this carbon fiber shark fin, which I think is cool. It's just a nice little accent to the carbon fiber theme that I have going on. I don't think I'm gonna pull back on that. It's very minimal. In terms of the brakes, I have these Sequence cross-drilled and slotted rotors with Sequence ceramic pads. And these, I'm telling you, for the price, these are like the best brakes that you can get out there. I didn't want to drop big dollars on my brake setup because these just don't have the M Sport brakes, and they really just weren't the biggest focal part for me on this build. So I didn't go too crazy, but Sequence does an awesome job. If you guys are interested in brakes, make sure you hit up Sequence. Coming around to the back, Keys Motorsports also offered these rear carbon fiber splitters that I just think tie everything together really well. And that comes into your rear carbon fiber diffuser, also from Keys Motorsports. So a lot of people, you know, they want to go to the 335 style exhaust or even the quad. In my opinion, I've always liked to kind of stick with what the car was intended to be. So it's a 328. I didn't want to switch it over to a 335. And I also felt like everybody was doing the quad and 335 style. I wanted to be a little bit different. So exhaust wise, we went with AWE tuning. Exhaust, I absolutely love it. It sounds really good. I'll put a clip right here for you guys. But it's just a fantastic exhaust, and it looks really clean. It's got the black tips, but there's like a little bit of color in them. They just look really slick. On the back, I did the Keys Motorsports Sabon carbon fiber CSL style trunk. As you can see, however, mine's a little bit different because we wrapped the inside of it around here to kind of break up some of that carbon fiber. And then we also wrapped on top. And the way that they did this is they used knifeless tape. So Sensational used knifeless tape along the trim here, laid down the wrap, and then pulled that tape up, and it actually just reveals whatever you have taped off. They did a killer job on that too. I mean, those guys are just absolutely crushing it. So the taillights are the OEM LCI tails, which I prefer. I prefer those over the black lines. I just think that they look cleaner. I think they look a little less eBay-ish, Altezza-ish. I think that that is a good approach to, if you're trying to do like a cleaner style build, that is the way to go. A lot of people do like the black lines, which is fine. I just, in my opinion, LCI OEM. All right, so getting into the engine bay, let's talk about all of the things that I've done and the things that you can see right out here in front of you. I have the AWE S-Flow carbon fiber intake, which is, it's sick. I mean, this is a really dope intake. However, it is quite pricey, so if you're really not worried about throwing too much money into your engine bay on your 328, you know, I do a lot of car shows, so it was important for me to have a very good looking intake, and that's why I went with the AWE S-Flow. I think the carbon fiber is just beautiful on this thing. So to match that, I actually took the engine cover over to a local paint shop and had it hydro dipped in carbon fiber pattern weave. So it's not real carbon fiber, it's just carbon fiber pattern hydro dipped. And then also painted gloss black all around. I kind of wanted to convert everything to gloss black. So I had my strut bar painted gloss black. I had the caps, all of the caps are painted gloss black to kind of just tie everything together and keep it as clean as possible. When it comes to actual mods that are in the engine, like I said, I have the S-Flow carbon fiber intake from AWE. I have the Evolution Raceworks charge pipe. I have the MST turbo inlet pipe. I have the Go Fast Bits diverter valve. Right there, you can see a little pink paint on it. I have the CSF front mount intercooler. So why I love this front mount intercooler is it's just black. It's just black. So it has like a very, I don't know, just like a sleek kind of murdered out vibe, which I prefer over the silver one. And then lastly, we did the Evolution Raceworks downpipe. It is the catted downpipe. So it's a Sport Cat downpipe that just helps with the exhaust flow, and it sounds amazing. I'm telling you, I love the way that this car sounds for a little 4-banger N20. This thing sounds sick. So if we talk about suspension real quick, this car is simply sitting on H&R Super Sport springs, stock shocks. They're probably blown by now, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's really it. I do have the F80 front control arms. So the setup on the front is a little bit similar to an F80, I guess you could say. The control arms are in fact off of an F80 M3. And if you are looking for a little bit better stance and better handling, I highly suggest looking into doing the F80 control arm swap. It made a very big difference. The way that the front of this car handles now is really, really nice. It's very, very confident. So that is kind of how the car is sitting at the moment. It's nothing too crazy. It's not wide body. It's not like a SEMA build or anything. But I feel like sometimes when you're doing a build, it's important to not go too far. Obviously, like the goals of your build are different. If you're building a SEMA car, or if you're building just purely a show car, your goals at the end of the day are going to be much different than what my goals were. I really just like modifying cars as tastefully as possible and not going like overboard. So when people ask me, should I do like the M3 style bumpers and the M3 style rear bumpers or fenders, I just think that it's up to you, man. Like, it really depends on what you're trying to do with your car. I wouldn't worry so much about people who are like, oh, it's not an M3. Well, obviously it's not an M3, but just do the things that you want to do to your car. If I really cared about the judgments of others, I probably wouldn't have done like half the things that I did on this car, because when I first started making videos, I had a lot of people just hating on it, and that's part of the process, man. And so really, don't worry about what other people say. Just do the things that you want to do to your car. It's your build. If it makes you happy, then just do it and forget about the other people. It's great to find inspiration in other people's builds, but you also have to individualize your own build. And if you get excited doing certain things to the car, then just go with that. Go with your gut, man. All right, so I wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that I've done on the inside of this car. So we've done the M Performance, the rubber floor mats, which, dude, I love these. Like, I absolutely love the rubber style floor mats when it comes to like cleaning them and just the durability of them versus the cloth ones that originally come in the car. These are way better. I also did these little M door sills. You might get some hate on them, but I think they look kind of cool. The stock ones just said Sportline on them and they were just silver. I just wanted to add something with a little bit of a heat, a little bit of flair to them. This car comes stock, it's a Sportline, so it comes stock with the red stitching, which I really like because it ties into a lot of things like the red start stop button. If we look on the inside, you'll see all of the door handles and trim has been done in carbon fiber. So the carbon fiber is in fact an overlay kit. It doesn't actually replace the factory pieces, which I love. It's very simple to install. It's just double-sided tape. It's cut really well. It looks amazing. It is real carbon fiber, but it just looks so good in the cockpit of this car. You'll also see that I have the upgraded Vivid screen, so I have the bigger screen. This car did not come with that. We also added a backup camera, huge. I use that daily. That is something that I really, really enjoy about that car. I did the hardwired Uniden radar detector. I have the Black View dash cam front and back, which I absolutely love those as well. I also did the upgraded M Sport shifter, which I really, really like. I think it looks a lot better than the other one. It has the leather in here. I also upgraded the little cap piece right here to have an M on it because I just wanted to trigger the whole world. And then on the phone mount, I have the Renline phone mount that I'm rocking, which I just think is the best option to go when it comes to phone mounts. It's super clean, super sturdy. And over here, obviously, dude, red start stop button, gotta have it. Adds like 50 horsepower to the car. And then we have the M Sport steering wheel, which is something that I wasn't crazy about in the beginning of this build, and then it grew on me, and once I did it, I realized I'd been missing out for a very long time. I also have the F80 M3 paddle shifters, which I really love. I am thinking about doing the digital cluster that everyone just goes crazy over. It's expensive, so we're thinking about it. We're thinking about it. I'm gonna mull it over and decide in the next few weeks here whether I wanna do it, but I do think it would be an interesting video, and I've had a lot of requests on it, so I might jump for it. The pedals are just these replica covers, so they have like an aluminum kind of stainless steel like look to them. They have little rubber pieces on them for no slip, but they're great. I mean, for the price of them, I think I got them on eBay or Amazon. I'll try to find the video and link it down below. But the pedals are fantastic, man, and they're easy to install, and people were talking about like how dirty they'd get or like your foot slipping off. I've had zero issues with them, so they are a good add in my opinion. That's kind of where the interior sits right now. It's not crazy. Like, I didn't go over the top with it. Like I said, like most of the mods that I've done to this car, I don't try to go too deep. I don't try to go too far with it. Just tasteful. As far as interior lighting, I have the ambient cluster right here. So this actual whole thing lights up on the bottom, just like the LCI models. And then I also added the ambient light upgrade in the door sills. I did a full video on that also. I'll link that down below for you guys. Any of the modifications we're talking about in this video, they're gonna be linked all in my description. I actually put them in all my videos in case you guys are interested in buying things that I have on my car. And if you're ever wondering about, well, how did he do this or how did he do that? Chances are, like 99% of the time, I made a video on it. So just Google or YouTube Thick F30 and then whatever you're looking for, and it will come up. One thing that I haven't done that I have been meaning to get into is the sound. The sound system on this. Always, man. It's always something when you're trying to make a video. One thing that I haven't really gotten into with this car is the sound system. This car does not, in fact, have the Harman Kardon or Harman Kardon sound system, however you want to say it. This car has the base level sound system, and I don't love it. Actually, in fact, one of my tweeters is blown. So I feel like that's a good opportunity to go ahead and upgrade all of the speakers and the subs in this car. So you can get a factory fitting, like without having a sub box and everything in it, adding weight and all that, but getting a really, really good sounding system. I'm trying to decide which way to go about that. But now that this car is the daily driver, the E90 M3 is a little more of like the weekend car, I want to get into doing the mods that make this car much more enjoyable to drive on a day-to-day basis, which, oh, I almost forgot, sunglasses. So this is like one of those tiny, tiny mods that you can do, little add-ons, but life-changing, life-changing. You know those little handles that we have? I replaced mine with this little sunglass holder. So your sunglasses just pop in this little holder and the inside of it is like felt, so it doesn't harm the actual glasses. But how sick is that? It's just like the perfect location for your sunglasses. And most people put them like in here in the little compartment in here, but I've found that they always rattle when I put them in there and I just can hear them all the time. So that, I mean, I don't know, dude. It's like 20 bucks or something. I can't remember what I paid for it. I'll link it down below. But this thing is a game changer. And I had a lot of people interested in it when I did it because it's so convenient. I gotta put one on this side too, because you know, for when your passengers are in the car or the lady needs to store her glasses, she's got a good spot. I don't know, tell me what you guys think. I love this thing, I absolutely love it. I use it every day. So that's the idea of this video, you guys. I just wanted to make the video talking about everything I've done to the car and kind of what I think looks good when it comes to modifying these cars. I don't try to go too far. I don't try to go too far on the car. I try to keep it as tasteful as possible. OEM, but added a little bit of flair to it. Like, I'm not doing a wide body kit on this car. I'm not doing a carbon fiber hood. But if your build was SEMA, like BAG B58 or something like that, that car is just super sick. And if that's your goal, then do it. And I can't even contend with that thing. Like, that thing looks unbelievable. But my build was different. My build was a little bit different. My approach was different. I didn't want to go too far. This is just kind of a video to make for some of you guys that are interested in the modifications that I have done to this car that I believe are tasteful and that you could probably apply some of this logic to your build as well. But at the end of the day, I just want you guys to remember, who cares what anyone else thinks? Make your own build. Make it individualized. Do what you want to do to your car, and don't let other people's opinions affect the build that you want to build. Anyways, hopefully some of you guys found use or inspiration out of this video. If you did, please make sure to smash that like button. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to add to the video, comment down below and I will do my best to answer them. Also, please do consider subscribing, hit that bell notification. Just like that, this video is over and I'm out. Peace.